Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Alta Point Health's Friday Forum. I'm Katie Emer, and we thank you so much for joining us here on our Facebook page as we try to bring you more information and resources across all of our platforms here at Alta Point Health. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. We have a website as well. So we hope that you'll join our community and like us and follow us so that you can get all of this great information at your fingertips. This week, our topic is mental health first aid, and that's a special service here at Alta Point Health, more of a training that we provide to anyone in the community who's interested in learning more about mental health or who may come in contact with those with mental health issues, whether it's a loved one, where they work, out in the community, whatever it may be. This is a great training for anyone interested in learning more about mental health. And so today we have a wonderful guest here with us. We have Miss Tamika Martin, who is a certified mental health first aid trainer here with us. And I know she's been doing it for a while, so she's got a lot of great info for us. As we go along, if you're watching with us live here on Facebook, feel free to put some questions or comments down in the comments section, and we will try to get to those while we are on air. If not, you can always call us afterwards, and we'll try to get you whatever information you might need. So, Tamika, first of all, thank you for being here with us this week. Yes, we appreciate it so much. So first of all, give the folks at home kind of an overview of what is mental health first aid.
Okay. Well, mental health first aid is similar in fashion to CPR. If someone needs CPR, that doesn't make them like a doctor or anything, in that profession, but it gives them insight into how to help someone who may be in a crisis. And that's what we do with mental health. We help people who may have family members and or coworkers who are experiencing mental health, possibly a breakdown of their mental health. We help them to gain the insight into those symptoms through this course and be able to help de-escalate a crisis.
Why do you think this is important for folks in our community to go through this training?
Because basically there's a lack of knowledge. There's not a lot of information. There's so many taboos attached to mental illness. And so as a result of people getting false information, we want to give them good, reputable information through an agency that does this with professionals all the time so that they have this information and then they can go out and empower other people with this information. And so it's really about just getting that knowledge out so that people don't stigmatize those people that we serve.
Wonderful. Kind of, if you could give us a brief synopsis of some of the different things you go through. I know I've taken the course from you, and you kind of go through a breakdown of each of the major mental health diseases and kind of go through the myths and the facts so that people really have a better understanding.
Okay, well, one of the biggest myths that we typically open the class with is the idea that people with mental illness, they're dangerous. And that's really not the truth. And so what we want to do is we want to help people understand that myth as well as others, because I've never had a class where I didn't have people say, they were afraid of those people with mental illness. And so we'll talk about schizophrenia and how that plays into hearing voices and seeing things and how scary that is for that person. So we try to put that person in that other person's shoes, and so that they can have the empathy to understand. So we go through all of the different symptoms and the warning signs of things like schizophrenia. Like I say, people are delusional, people hear things and see things. So we talk about that. We look at the statistics of that not being as great a number as people think, but anxiety, that's actually the number one diagnoses in the US is anxiety. So we go through those different styles or different types of anxiety, and we talk about that. We also talk about mood disorders such as depression or bipolar disorder. And we talk about how people often are misdiagnosed with bipolar because that's kind of become the more common diagnoses, and people are comfortable saying someone's bipolar when they really don't know that that's more episodic. It's not like I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm laughing, then I'm crying. It's really not that. It's about time frames of these different depressive states or the manic states. And so we give you all of that information so that not only you have the warning signs, but you know, like the early onset of those different disorders.
Right. You just mentioned something that I wanted to get to. Not only are you going through and helping us understand all the various disorders there are, but you're also telling us what to look for, those warning signs, what to look for, and how to approach someone if you feel you have a loved one or that you know someone who might be suffering.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the class, what we talk about with approaching someone is always keep yourself safe. That is really, really important that you know your exits, what you need to do to make sure that you stay safe in these kind of instances. And it's really different for different people because it's really about, do you have a rapport with that person? Making sure that you're asking permission to approach, asking permission to touch the person. You're not just trying to do this. So we teach you skills on how to approach the person. And then we also teach you when that it's time to call in professionals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we always provide them with our information, and it's surprising how many people in our community, they are not aware that we even have a crisis team.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really one of the benefits of the course, is that you get more of the resources that's available in our community.
I love it. We'll talk about who all can take this class and this training.
Everyone is welcome. If you work with children, we have a course that we teach for the youth. If you work with adults, we have a course that we teach for people who work with adults with mental illness. We have a veterans course because they have more specific needs that relate just to that. So we have that. And then we have like a first responder course for like our police officers and EMTs and fire departments. So we offer different modules throughout this course. So anyone is welcome to take this course and gain from the knowledge that we try to impart to people.
It really is an eye-opener. I know I came into this job completely new to the mental health world. It was a whole new language, a whole new world to learn that I'd never really been exposed to in my day-to-day routines before I got this job. So this is a great way to really kind of get your feet wet and get an understanding of what all there is behind, you know, those stigmas that are out there. And so it's a great, like she said, for absolutely anyone. And I could see this right now, camp counselors,
definitely,
who are working with kids every day, teachers, as our kids head back to school and it's a new normal. They've been going through a lot over the summer and the last quarter. You know, this is going to be such a valuable resource, I think, now more than ever, given the pandemic that's going on, the new normals we're dealing with, everything that's going on in the world. It's taking a toll on everyone's mental health. And I think we all need to be a little more educated and a little more sensitive to the mental health needs of those around us, whether it's your loved ones or who you work with or who you work for. So it seems like this would be such a great tool for anyone nowadays.
Especially, like you mentioned, the teachers who are going back to school. We have done this course with several different schools in the past, and we are, welcoming schools to contact us to get that information, because a lot of times this isn't something that teachers have just learned. So to be able to empower them to have that, to be able to recognize the sign so they can contact Alta Point through our children's division to get that child help. Early intervention is really what it's about. And we talk a lot about that in the youth mental health class, is that early intervention. And it's harder to do early intervention when you don't know the warning signs. And so we're teaching teachers how to do that, how to talk to the children, how to, even talk with parents about these kind of things, as well as like anyone, boys and girls clubs, like you mentioned, camp counselors, all of these people, because like you said, this is our new normal. And so we have to learn how to adapt. And sometimes that can be a little difficult when I don't understand what's going on and I'm dealing with mental health issues on top of that.
Absolutely. And that's a little bit on the kids side of things, but for adults as well, I could see it in the workplace. This could be a beneficial tool because everybody's bringing their stressors from home and everything that's going on. They're bringing it with them as we head back into the offices. I know Starbucks, I saw on the news, they're launching, a special campaign to help train your employees on how to be more sensitive to these kinds of things and recognize this in your coworkers or in the people that you serve. How do you see this being a tool in the workplace as well?
Oh, I think that's awesome what Starbucks is doing. When I initially saw that, I was like, that's so great.
I know.
I think that that's where it starts, is companies recognizing that mental illness is not something taboo, that 1 in 4 people, they're dealing with these things. So that means they're on your job, they're in your community, they're at your church. These are things that are not just going to go away because we ignore them. And so the way that we get started is to begin having those conversations and not making people feel isolated as a result of that. And so the more information you get, the more likely you are to share this information with others. And so that's why we offer this course, so that, I mean, we've had businesses contact us so that they can teach their staff how to deal with crisis and recognize these. And so we welcome any company, any agency, any school. We want to give you this information.
So for those groups who may be watching right now, we'd love to give you that phone number. If you want to give us a call, try to see how you can set up these trainings for your folks or your group, you can always give us a call. The phone number is 251-450-5971. And again, this training is called Mental Health First Aid. And one other thing I kind of wanted to talk about with this is when you get this training through AltaPoint, our providers, our trainers like you have so much experience in this field. A little bit about your background. You bring all of
the course when I teach it, and some of the other instructors as well. What we find is people like stories. Mm-hmm. People enjoy real life scenarios. And so for us to teach the course and just talk about mental health is not as eye-opening as when we give examples, real life examples that people can relate to. They're better able to retain the information that we give. And so as a result of that, we like telling stories because, like, I've been with AltaPoint almost 15 years. Wow. And in that time, I've worked with the children. I've worked with acute hospitalization with children. I've worked in residential with children. I've worked with adults in outpatient settings. I've worked with adults in the homeless setting. I've worked with the group home. So I've just kind of worked around. And so it gives me a variety of information to share, to learn. I mean, I learn from our patients just as much as I try to give to them. And so I'm able to share some of that with the participants of the class and just try to make it real for them. I think that helps them to see, you know, their family member, their coworker who may be experiencing, like, I've seen some of that before. Mm-hmm. And it kind of opens that class up for them to engage more. And we can all learn from each other through different experiences. And so we try to offer those real life experiences, which is wonderful that all of the trainers have been here for a while. Mm-hmm. And so as a result of that, we all have our different stories to share, to tell, to make that class more engaging so that people want to be there and enjoy learning.
It really does. Like you said, those stories, that's what I took away from this class. I remember your stories, and it just made it so real. And I think it makes mental health less scary when it becomes more real. Mm-hmm. And so I hope, you know, that a lot of other people can get that from this class as well.
Definitely. We definitely want to make it real to you, because otherwise you won't benefit. And we want your participation. We want your questions. We want to just be that vessel to help during these difficult times.
Awesome. I love it so much. Well, one more time, let's bring up that phone number for folks. If you want any information about mental health first aid with us here at AltaPoint Health, you can give us a call at 251-450-5971. Also, you can always visit us on our website, altapoint.org, and you can follow us across all of our platforms here on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and we do also have a YouTube page as well with some great informational videos for you and your loved ones at home. And so one more thing that we wanted to talk about today was a job fair. We are hiring here at AltaPoint Health, and we've got another exciting drive-through job fair coming up, and that'll be this Wednesday coming up, June 17th, and this one will be in Baldwin County. It's over at the Sports Academy in Daphne, and it'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so we invite everyone to bring their resume, drive through, and see what kind of opportunities await you here at AltaPoint Health. Tamika, I know, as we mentioned before, you've kind of worked in all different roles within our continuum. Yes. What do you like most about being a part of the AltaPoint Health team?
I think that's it for me. I love the fact that I've gotten to experience so many different types of mental illness, because even as a professional, I started here as a therapist. I've learned so much in different capacities from working with different people. And that door is open for anyone to move around and learn different programs, learn about different patients, get that better understanding of mental illness that I didn't have prior to working here 15 years ago. And so that door was open so that I'm also experiencing and learning as I work here day to day.
Wonderful. And what would you say to someone that you didn't know about Alta Point Health before you came to work here that might help them understand what it is we do and we love here?
The one of the main things that I would tell someone is you are going to be trained. You will not just be thrown into the lion's den. You're going to receive very thorough training prior to working with the patients. And that's going to give you more insight into the population that we serve, understanding that population so that you can work better with that population. People seem to do better, of course, when they understand things. And so you will get fully trained and you're not out there alone. And really, you're going to get a lot of those myths debunked so that you're comfortable in whatever setting that you come into through our company.
And I know one thing I had no idea with Alta Point was the variety of programs and services.
Yes.
And we call it our continuum of care, which I didn't really know that term before I came to work here. But to me, it just means that there's a program and a service for every level of need, for every age group that is out there. And so, does that make you excited to be a part of this team as well?
It does. And one of the things that I always try to talk to my staff and my team about is if we treat everyone as if they could possibly be a member of our family, we're going to do the best care possible for them. And that's what it's about, is making sure that through that continuum that we are addressing every need this person has. Alta Point does not just deal with psychiatric. We look at the holistic person, the medical needs of that person, the housing needs of that person, financial needs. I mean, we do holistic care. And I think that benefits that person so much more because we have people in our continuum that all they have is us. And so as a result of that, we take care of everything that person needs. And that's a great team to be a part of.
That's right. We have continued to grow over the last few years, incorporating ID services as well as primary care services. So like you said, we're really serving the whole person as they come to us in need. And so those are just more opportunities. And so we invite you, if you have any questions about any of the programs or services we have, you can also call our CarePoint line, which is 251-450-2211. And so there's a mental health specialist standing by to take any of your questions, and they'll answer anything that you might need about any of our programs and services. So give them a call at any time. And again, like we said, thank you for being here and getting more wonderful information about our mental health first aid classes. So we hope you will join us again right here on Facebook for our next Friday Forum. If you have any suggestions for us, feel free to drop it in the comments and maybe we could make that one of our next programs. All right. We hope you all have a wonderful